devil in sheep's clothing who needs hearing. Said the devil in sheep's clothing, I need cheering. When they think of death, they think of what he's wearing. Tell them look away from a light. Of course they keep staring. They ain't never seen a killer more realer. Send them flying through the clouds and I ain't your dope dealer. Step into the room and you feel a cold shiver. Black heart ice cause I am a cold nigga, yes. I was driven to the edge of insanity. You cut the brakes, pushed me off the ledge single-handedly. Knew that I was falling in the dark, saving gravity. But finally I came to the ways of the maddening. Hook to this feeling, I ain't even pulled a grapple. Been swinging through the city like an Ackerman. All these people bit the hand and venom, saw the beast, so they had to run. COVID, they ain't knowing what did that become. Yeah. I don't feel the same. I'm feeling like a bad man. Damn, I'm feeling strange. Now I'm feeling like a bad man. Everything has changed. Now I'm thinking like a bad man. Thinking, yeah. But in the body of the bad man. I was on some other shit, and I had to come to grips that I could have run the clip while all these bitches running lips. In that code of the past, man, they wouldn't budge a ditch. But you breathe me at last, I might run them to the ditch. How much time did I waste duct taping sunk ships? I was one with the scum, I was coming from the ribs. I was thrown in the dark, now the dark is all it is. I a hero or become the villain, Harvey had to spit.
Okay, ladies and gents, this was made by, YouTuber Daddy Fat Snaps. Please go watch and sub to his videos, because he makes pretty good content. In this universe, only females have quirks, and this version of the events will turn out different. Now I already know I made what if Deku was abused and stuff like that, so I'm gonna delete that one and make this one instead, because yeah, Deku, he's being abused and everything. So we begin with Deku in an orphanage. Boys are treated like pets, and like one Omni-Man once said, let me find that clip. Okay, this isn't made by me, I'm gonna show y'all who it's made by here in a minute.
Do you have any idea how long we live? The older we get, the slower we age. Viltrumite DNA is so pure, you're nearly full-blooded. You'll live for thousands of years. Do you understand what that means? Everyone you know and love will be gone before you even look 30. It's not something I want for you. This isn't your world, it's theirs. But we can help them. We can stop wars, eliminate hunger, give them medical technology centuries ahead of what they have now. We've already been doing it. If it wasn't for you and me, this planet would be in flames. All we have to do is welcome Earth into our empire. I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet to me.
A pet?
This is the only way, Mark. Don't touch me. Calm down.
So yeah, as y'all heard, Omni-Man, she's more like a pet. And basically replace Savage Boys, so they're more like a pet. This is who it's made by and all that. Shout out to everybody that helped to make the show Invincible. So yeah. But yeah, like one Omni-Man once said, she's more like a pet. So yeah. Deku, he would be in an orphanage. Nobody knowing, well, Deku, he wouldn't have a name. And 3 people will come into the orphanage one day. Izumi. Okay, so Izumi and Inko and also Mizumi. Spelled with an M. So it's Izumi and Mizumi. So Deku, he will have 2 sisters that will treat him horrible. Let me see. Okay, Deku's eyes, they will be purple. So Deku, he would be in the corner with a black hoodie on, and he would just be facing the corner, just sleeping because he didn't get much sleep. And Deku, he would wake up because he would hear a door open, and Deku he would just kind of glaze up. He would turn around, and he would see the owner of the orphanage, and then Izuku, he immediately looks down up immediately as soon as he sees her. Why? Because boys are treated terribly, and yeah, and Deku, he would be like, oh man, and Izuku, he didn't see the people that were behind her, so Deku would be like, oh, she's about to abuse us again, man, this sucks and stuff like that. And then she would hear her talking with Inko and the two kids. Izuku would be like, oh, are they adopting? Please don't pick me. And Izuku, he wouldn't look like that yet. And Deku, he would... what would happen? Deku, he would just sit there, facing the corner. And they wouldn't really have noticed Deku. The two girls will, Izumi and Mizumi will go around the room, talking to so many kids and stuff like that, seeing which one they like. To them, it's kind of like shopping, which is a bad way to describe it, but yeah, it's kind of like shopping for them. And that, Mizumi, being the nicer one of the two, would notice Deku out the corner of her eye, saying, oh, we missed one. Deku would say, dang it. And Deku, they would go over to Deku, they say, hey, what's your name? Izuku would say, don't have one. And they would talk to Deku, seeing what his personality's like and stuff like that. And to make a long story short, they adopted Deku. And some of the boys would look at Deku and be like, man, why do you gotta take him? Because Deku was super nice and all that. He tried to help the boys in any way he could. Because, yeah. And Deku, he'd be adopted and all that. He'd be taken to, Inko's house. And Deku, he would be like, okay. And they were like, where is he gonna sleep? And, Deku also wondered this, but he wouldn't ask because, well, he would be scared of being beaten. And Deku, he would say, man, where would I be sleeping? He would muster up the courage to ask Inko where would he be sleeping. And Izumi would suggest, how can we put him in the attic? Izuku would say, at least that's better than what they had me in. He would say that in his head. And Inko would say, yeah, that's an amazing idea. Such filth like him should be in the attic. And Deku would say, man, I was hoping I was going to get a nice family, but having one is better than not having one. Izuku, he would get the name Izuku, and his last name being Midoriya. And now, Deku, now we fast forward a couple weeks. Deku, he's 5. Izuku, he's being abused and everything. basically he starts getting, he basically looks like this now. But just imagine a 5-year-old version. So yeah, Deku, he would hear words like Hakai and Key Blast and destruction. And Izuku, he would wonder. Izuku, he'd be confused, like, Izuku, he would say, Hakai, and a small ball of energy, like just a tiny ball, would appear. And, well, Izuku, he would gently, like this, toss it just a little bit, and I'm gonna say there was a concrete block that there was in front of Izuku, and that just gets incinerated. And Deku, he starts tripping. He's like, "The what? Did I do that?" And Deku, would say, I thought I didn't have a quirk." Izuku, he wouldn't tell anybody about this because he would thought that they would not believe him and then just, well, abuse him. So Deku, he would be getting abused and everything. Deku, they put a shock collar on Deku. So yeah, pretty messed up, but eh. They have a shock collar on Deku, and Deku, he's 5, I said. So I'm gonna say for plot reasons, he goes into his mindscape on accident whenever he goes to sleep. It just thinks like, what if I was able to go into my mind and be able to do whatever I want? That would accidentally trigger him being able to go into his mindscape. So when Deku, he appears in his mindscape, he would see. Okay, Deku, he would see this man with pure black Air Force activity. He would see Lord Beerus. And Beerus, he would say, so you're the next god of destruction. Izuku, he would be like, what? Are you gonna hurt me? And Beerus, he would say, why would I hurt a child? Izuku, he would say, but everybody else, they hurt me. Beerus would say, well, they're weaklings for hurting a child. And Beerus would be like, you're a god of destruction. Why do you let those murderers hurt you, child? You can destroy that planet. Laughing as he says that. And Izuku says, well, I can destroy the planet? And Beerus would say, yes, you can. You can breathe in outer space as well. It's pitiful sometimes whenever a new god of destruction has to meet, when a new god of destruction has to meet their predecessor. What I've been told by the god of destruction that I met before I became it. Mizuki would say, oh, okay. And Beerus, he would say, well, I'm just gonna help you unlock some of your abilities, like Key Blast, Flight, and, well, strength strong enough to, well, you can easily, and I mean very easily, hurt everyone with this. You can send a person flying across the planet with just flicking them. And he says, what? And Beerus would say, yes. And he would say, have you heard from a guy, a really tall blue guy named Whis yet? Izuku would say, no. And you say, oh, okay, so Whis hasn't reached out to you yet. Meaning, your power level hasn't, your power level isn't that strong just yet. Although he's probably is keeping track of you since, well, you are the new god of destruction. And he would say, well, let's start your training. Beerus would teach Deku how to fly, how to use Ki Blast, and also body flickering, which is basically Deku moving too fast for the eye. Basically, Deku is going to be the fastest on the planet in terms of speed. So yeah, Beerus would teach Deku, and he wanted to teach him everything. And Beerus, he would say, okay, that's as much as I can teach you for now, kid. Mizuku would say, okay, Lord Beerus. He would say, no, you can just call me Beerus. Because you're a god of destruction now. And Izuku says, okay, Beerus. And Izuku would say, well, how do I get out of my mindscape? Well, you should be waking up from sleeping in 3, 2, 1. And Izuku would wake up, and Izuku says, man, that was exactly on time. Izuku was like, wow, that was on time. Izuku's been abused and everything. And one day, Izuku finally has enough. And he packs his bags without Inko or any of his sisters noticing. Keep in mind, Mizumi was the nice sister, so she would always go upstairs to check on Deku to make sure he's okay. And she would go upstairs and she would see Izuku packing his bags. She would look around and she would shut the door. She would say, where are you going? Izuku would say, oh, hey, Mizumi. Please don't tell your mom that I'm leaving. She says, you're leaving? Izuku would say, yeah. I kinda can't stay here no more. And she says, why? Izuku says, oh yeah, she does that stuff when you're not around. Izumi's around though, but Izuku would say, well, and Izuku always wore a long sleeve, that way Mizumi wouldn't notice. And Izuku would take off his shirt and she would see all these scars on Deku. She would say, Mom, did that to you? Izuku would say, yes. And so did your sister and Bakugo. And keep in mind, every single boy name that I say besides Izuku and Beerus and Whis. Okay, so excluding Beerus, Whis, and Izuku, every boy name that I say is just female, but I don't feel like finding a female name for them. So yeah, Deku and shoot, and Mizumi should say, I'm incredibly sorry. Izuku, he says, no, it's okay. I'll be leaving now. And Izuku, he would leave. And he would, keep in mind, this is 5-year-old Deku still. And Deku, he would be walking around. He wouldn't be snuck out the house and everything. Izuku, he'd be walking around looking for, well, an alleyway or somewhere decently nice to sleep. And Beerus is in Deku's head, kind of like a second voice, kind of like a voice in his head, saying, why don't you just blow up the planet, kid? Izuku, he would say, well, because I want to be a hero. And Beerus, he would laugh at this. He would say, kid, with your type of power, you are not meant to be a hero. You're a god of destruction, no less. You're legit immortal. You can die after centuries of being alive and stuff still, but you're immortal. You will not die. Mizuki says, oh, but still, I'm gonna become the best hero ever. And Beerus, he says, this should be amusing. And Deku, he's walking around. Fast forward a couple of hours. Inko's perspective. Izuku, come down. Izuku, he doesn't respond. Izuku, if you make me have to come up there, I'm gonna use my belt. Izuku is still not coming down. She walks up there with her belt. Izumi, it goes up there with her mom, and they don't see Izuku. They go to every single room. They go into Mizumi's room and they say, "Hey, have you seen Izuku?" And she looks at Inko and Izumi with a disgust look on her face, and she would say, I saw what y'all did to Izuku." They say, but that's what happens to kids that don't listen, is what Inko would say. She would say, no, y'all did that to him because he was a boy. And yeah, basically, what would happen next is, they would call 5-0 to report a missing person. So, heroes will be looking for Deku. Some heroes are nice to boys and everything, and some are not. So yeah, Deku, he's going around. He's looking, and Izuku, one very tall person with two-paced hair would go next to Deku. He would say, hello, I'm kind of lost. Do you think you can help me? Izuku, he would look up at him. He would say, are you Reese? And Reese would say, how do you know my name, child? And he would say, oh, Lord Beerus told me. And Beerus would be in his head. He would say, you know, you can just call me Beerus, right? Izuku saying in his head, I know, but it's just easier to introduce you like that. And Reese would say, kid, you must be the new god of destruction. Now, do you have a family? Izuku would say, no. Friends? Izuku would say, none. And Reese, he would be like, and he would see all these scars on Deku. He would say, what happened to you? And Izuku would say, I was beaten because I was a boy. Only females have power. And Reese would say, so the earth that we knew was gone. Well, it's time to change that. And Reese, he would say, well, Lord Izuku. Now, Izuku would say, and Reese would ask, what's your name? Izuku would say, my name's Izuku. And Reese would say, okay, Lord Izuku, we must go now. And, well, just as they're about to fly off, my hero should it be erase her head. Female erase her head. Would see Deku with the stranger, and erase her head would say, halt. What are you doing with that child? And Reese, would say, this is no child. This is a god of destruction. And of course, they would not know what god of destruction is because, well, it was centuries ago that Goku passed away. And they've been in peace because, well, Frieza was no longer a threat. Broly, he was long dead, but his kids were still out there somewhere. Zeno, he got burned, and, well, he stays in his palace because nobody would treat him like Goku did. And yeah, the universe has not had any threats until now. Deku, he would say, and what's his name? What's her name? Aizawa. Aizawa, she would say, God of Destruction. That's only a myth. And Izuku, he would say, no, Izuku, he wouldn't say anything. Whis, he would laugh, and he would say, oh my, it has been centuries, after all. I guess y'all's what y'all call crux. I guess y'all's crux did evolve from ki, so yeah. I highly doubt that any of y'all could actually use ki these days. I wonder if Master Roshi is still alive. He could probably teach you the Kamehameha, Izuku. And Izuku would say, who's Master Roshi? And he would say, that's a discussion for when you're on your planet, Lord Izuku. And Eraser, he would say, I erased your quirks. Y'all can't go anywhere. Izuku and Whis, he would say, we have no quirks, technically. And they would just disappear. And Izuku would say, that was Pro Hero Eraserhead. That's one of my favorites. And Whis would say, oh, okay. Whis would raise Izuku. And now, since Whis is raising Izuku, he wouldn't be lazy like Lord Beerus. Izuku, he would actually learn and master Ultra Instinct. Deku, he would also be 1,000 times smarter than Nezu. Why? Well, because Nezu's intelligence is nothing compared to Whis. So yeah, Deku, he would learn how to do the Kamehameha, Final Flash, Instant Transmission, which is basically body flickering. But so Izuku, he will be pretty much invincible, and the Omni King will. Yeah, Deku would have to meet the Omni King at least once. The Omni King will come down to Izuku's planet, and Izuku would be training one day, doing 1,000 push-ups with 3,000 pound weights on his back. And Deku, he would be doing this, and Zeno would appear. Izuku, he would look at Zeno, and Izuku, he would stand up, and Izuku, he would calmly walk over to Zeno, and he would bow. He would say, Lord Zeno, how may I help you? And Izuku would hear that Zeno likes to do handshakes and stuff. Izuku would reach out his hand. He would say, you want to play? And Whis, he would say, so he's going to treat him like Goku did. And Zeno, he would get like, his eyes will become all like twinkly and stuff like that. And they would basically look like stars. And Zeno would grab Deku's hand and be like, yay! And he would play with Zeno for a little bit. And he would say, now, Lord Zeno, why have you blessed us with your presence today? And the Grand Minister would say, he's an odd one. He's respectful, but he wanted to play with the most powerful being in this universe, in the multiverses. He's an odd one. And he says, yeah, I kind of had to raise him from 5. Hold up. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah. But, yeah. And Zeno, he would say, "Oh, I come down from my palace to meet the new gods of destructions whenever they have been, um, whenever have been notified as new ones. You have been notified for a while, but I was kind of lonely, and well, I was kind of busy." Zeno would say. Izuku says, "It was no rush for me." And what's his name? The Great Minister. He would say, "So, what is your name, child?" Izuku would say, "My name is Izuku." He'd say, "Do you have a last name?" Izuku he would say, "Yes, but I don't like using that name." And he would say, "Okay." And well, the Green Minister would say, "So, how much have you achieved in your training with my son?" Izuku he would look back and forth like at the Grand Minister and at Reese. Izuku says, "Y'all two are related?" No offense, Grand Minister, but he's kind of taller than you." And then the Grand Minister he would laugh. He would say, "Yes," and VC would say, VC and the Grand Minister would kind of chuckle and stuff like that. And Izuku would say, "Well, I have fully mastered Ultra Instinct. I've mastered pretty much everything. Now I'm just training to keep my physical body in shape." And the Minister would say, "That's more than any god of destruction besides Lord Sinnoh himself has accomplished." Izuku would say, "Wait, really?" And then the Grand Minister would say, "Yeah." And Izuku would say, "Well, looks like I'm a legend in the God of Destruction histories." And the Grand Minister he would say, "That he will be." And Izuku he would say, well, Izuku he would be 11, because why not? Izuku he would say, well, and basically, no, he wouldn't say well. The Grand, after a little bit of talking with the Grand Minister and Zeno, they had to leave. So yeah, Izuku he would say, "Hey Reese," and Reese would say yes. Izuku, he would say, "Yes, Lord Izuku." Izuku says, "You know, you can just call me by my first name." And Reese would say, "Okay." "Yes, Izuku." Izuku would say, "Well, can you teleport me to Earth?" And Reese would say, "Yeah, sure." Izuku would say, "I'll contact you whenever I need you again." And Reese would say, "Okay." And Beerus would be talking to him in his mindscape. He would say, "Kid, you have accomplished a lot of things, and things that even I haven't accomplished yet. Well, not going to, because I'm dead, but still." And yeah, now time skip, well, flashback for Aizawa. No, that kid got kidnapped, but it looks like he was willing to go with him. And Aizawa, she would be parted as a kidnapping and stuff like that. And well, that's pretty much what would happen. They wouldn't be able to find Deku for, okay, Deku was 5, so 11 years. 5 plus 10, and then plus 1, so yeah, that would be 11 years. And yeah, Deku, he would be missing until Deku, he would go back to Earth. He would walk around. I'm gonna say for plot reasons, Deku's able to create clothes for himself. That way he doesn't, look like he's like that in small clothes and stuff like that. And for what Deku's gonna look like when he actually goes all out is this. Izuku, he will have the proper hair and everything already. The long hair and stuff, he would naturally already have that. But Deku's skin will turn pale white with those specks coming out of Deku's shoulders and arms and, well, as you can see, rib cage and knees. And Deku, he would look like that whenever he's actually taking somebody full on serious. Which, if he does that, the universe will start shaking. Like legit, the universe will start trembling. Izuku, he has Ultra Instinct on 24/7. You will not be able to hit this man. And yes, I know I made Deku insanely broken, but I don't care. And yeah, Deku, he would appear and everything. And I'm gonna say Izuku always had purple hair. Why? Because he did. So Deku, he would go back to Earth and he would walk around, just looking around, and I'm gonna say there's Izuku. Okay, yeah, Izuku, he's 11, so yeah, like he would just be walking around. And there are some heroes that are still looking for the kid, but yeah, I know Aizawa is gonna be one of them. So yeah, Deku, he would walk around, and I'm gonna say okay, so when is his first? Okay, so she would be in her first year. You might be like, who is she? Well, that's to remain to be seen on who the ship is going to be, which is the first year right now at UA, I believe. Actually, no. Yeah, I think she would. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not gonna mention her. She is not in UA yet, and until I mention her, then yeah, that's how it's gonna stay. Deku, he would go. He would be walking around. And okay, so okay, for people who will be talking and hanging out with each other, they would be at a cafe drinking some coffee before their shift starts. And Deku, he would walk by the cafe, and one of the heroes would rub their eyes like, did I just see a ghost? And one of the heroes says, what's wrong? Is that just me? Or does that look like the kid that's been missing for 11 years? And they would look at the kid, they would say, we need to get out of here. One of the heroes would put $50 on the table and went told the waitress keep take a tip out of it for yourself. And yeah, they would dip and they would run over to the kid. And this is when I'm gonna start to enter these names. Ryoko, man, I don't know. she would be the first one to catch up with the kid. And Deku, he still has these scars on him. And Izuku, she would say, "Hey kid." Izuku, he would turn around, he would say, "Hello, how may I help you?" In a very calm and, well, not worried voice. She would say, "Would your name happen to be Izuku Midoriya?" With a serious look on his face, he says, "I don't like the Midoriya name anymore. After, well, what they've done to me." Izuku, and she would